Soccer, the largest sport in the world. And that is the final time I'm going to call it soccer. Football is huge and it is watched by billions of people around the world for World Cup and Champions League finals. Like, look at this list of the 10 most liked Instagram posts of all time. Let me highlight the ones that are football related. Oh, and that one that isn't, it's a fucking egg. And the craziest thing about this list is the earliest post on there is from October 2021. That's crazy. These posts aren't accruing likes over time. They're getting them almost instantly. Most of these posts are from the recent World Cup. Look, let me stop annoying fans of other sports. Every sport's great. Let's just have our fun. But football has a huge fan base. So why are we being neglected like the middle child? I looked for a list of the top 100 sports films and I'll let you guess how many of them were about football. Ding, ding, ding if you guess the dizzying heights of one. Bend It Like Beckham. And although Bend It Like Beckham is a bit of a cult fan favorite and got us through many school lessons on rainy days, it is goofy.
That was brilliant. Really good.
Yeah, almost as good as a man.
And compared to some of the sweet treats other sports fans get in Hollywood, you can't help but feel a little bit underwhelmed. Now let's start with the most obvious point. Although football is the most popular sport in the world, it's not the most popular sport where it matters. America. Hollywood is the epicenter of films, and if you're not cool there, you're not cool anywhere. You know, this is obviously why we see so many films for basketball and American football, but even sports that aren't even particularly that big, like baseball. I was so surprised when I saw how many good, great, fantastic baseball movies there are for a sport that is kind of slowly dying right now. Number one, there's clearly a bias. Another reason I think football is failing on a cinematic level is because it's hard to make cinematic. It rarely looks cool. I've rarely seen it look cool. In film, that is.
The international smash hit everyone's cheering for.
Oh, fucking hell.
I've recently been given Ted Lasso recently, which has been getting very popular, which follows a fictional football manager. But even the actual gameplay in that show is goofy. But that doesn't matter. The show is loved for its heart and who Ted Lasso is as a person. But you could even argue that the actual football is the weakest part of Ted Lasso. It doesn't really capture the partisan fan base, the game atmosphere, heart-stopping moments, but also isn't what the show is going for or trying to do. That being said, even if football is hard to film and get the right feelings across, you can still make a great film without a lot of sporting moments. For example, Moneyball. Moneyball is a great film and one of my favorite sporting films, and you barely see any of it. You get that great scene at the end, but apart from that, they use some real life footage and sprinkle out shots in the background. You'll hear it on the radio all the time. You see it on little TV screens in the back. They use it sparingly, but they use it effectively. And when they do use it, they make sure it matters and you feel it. What actually triggered me to make this video was watching that new Air trailer, which seems to be all about the most popular shoe by any sportsman, or kind of anyone in general, Michael Jordan, which did get me thinking, football is just a lot less marketable. It doesn't seem to have the same personalities in the sport that maybe other sports do. For example, F1 isn't particularly huge in America, but even that sport has received some love when it comes to films, and that's because F1 is full of drama, it's full of crazy big egos going at each other, and it's easy to make a great film on that.
He said they want your blood. They all want your blood.
That being said, footballers lack personality from the outside. On the inside, we know crazy things still happen.
Well, the team have good guys, but good guys, they never win.
Footballers are incredibly media trained, and any charisma they did have gets sapped out of them at a very young age. And that's why when we get these glorified puff pieces from Amazon All or Nothing documentaries, we as football fans lose our collective shit. And we're not even being shown anything particularly crazy. A couple players arguing or some behind the scene manager meetings. It's really nothing compared to the documentaries you get for American sports. Because the English media is so volatile and the luxury to just be yourself isn't really presented here for young footballers, it would make that pulling back of the curtain on the big screen even more fun. Even if that is a slightly exaggerated pulling back of the curtain. It is Hollywood after all. Maybe Americans just don't care enough about football. Maybe the people who do care are just too tribal and they don't want to watch a football film if it's not about the team they support. But I think there are still interesting stories you can tell. It doesn't have to be the obvious underdog team does well and wins at the end. You could tell stories about scandals, lies, deception, the inner workings of a sport that always tries to be holier than thou, has the biggest corruption stories lying underneath. There's footballers who have struggled with addiction and mental health while playing. You could take the perspective of players, managers, owners, fans, or backroom staff. Oh yeah, sure, you could just do another underdog story, but just do something and make it good, please. And to be honest, you don't even really have an excuse anymore, Hollywood. The sport is growing in the USA massively. You currently have a bit of a golden generation forming within your current soccer squad. I said I wouldn't use that word again, I'm sorry. And there's a bit of a merge happening with David Beckham forming an MLS team out in Miami, and with Hollywood's very own Ryan Reynolds coming across the pond to buy Wrexham, and Michael B. Jordan being a part of a consortium who bought Bournemouth.
There's no reason why a good coming of age film about Marcus Rashford or Wayne Rooney or Frank Lampard couldn't happen.
Ask Gary if he thinks like the publicity he's given young Frank there warrants it. Because personally, I don't think he's quite good enough there.
No, I tell you now, you know, you can sit in front of all these people, I tell you without any shadow of a doubt, there will be no comparison with what Frank Lampard will achieve in football and what Scotty Cannon will achieve in football. But I'm telling you now, and I maybe now I didn't want to say this in front of him, but he will go right to the very top. Right to the very top.
Oh, there you are, you heard it here first.
And I told you Chelsea were the best team in the world, and tonight we are. Get in there!
So make it happen.